Okay, folks, we're going to get started here. Again, thank you all for coming. A couple of notes that I mentioned earlier, this would be for the late arrivals. We have copies of our platform, voter registration forms, our PAC membership form if you're interested. At the table over here to my left, please take any of these things that you think you might need. Also, we still have plenty of popcorn and drinks over here. Oh, and muffins. I just found out we had muffins. And again, our format tonight is going to be where the questions will be read by our mayoral candidate, Justin Bratton. And then depending on the type of question it is, we'll either have individuals that are running for alderman address it, or they'll talk about it among themselves in a group. Now I'd like to have Javier come on up and do the invocation for us, please.
Excuse me, guys, I was working a little bit dirty. Oh, okay, well, I talk pretty loud.
Oh, okay.
Thank you all for coming. Can we bow our heads, please? Lord, thank you, Lord, for bringing us here today. I pray, Lord, that you may guide us with your wisdom, Lord, in any decisions or thoughts that we have, that your will be done, my Father. I pray, Lord, for guidance and strength for all of us, and that we all enjoy each other's company, Lord, this day. Thank you, Lord, for bringing us here. Amen.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to introduce all our candidates, and they're going to come on up here and give you a little information about themselves and how they feel about the community and other things. So first we have Justin Bratton, who is running for mayor.
Sorry, I can't see all that way. Sorry, y'all, I'm slightly nervous up here. I'm Justin Bratton. I grew up here in Ladonia. I graduated from Fannondale. I live over there on Church Street. We moved here in 2008, 2009, somewhere around there, and I've been here my whole life. I graduated in 2018, joined the Navy, and then once I got my honorable discharge, I just came right back here. I saw our town was in need of some help, and I really do love Ladonia, and I want to give it its best shot and do my best to help the town and help the community that we built and love so much.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Dana Burkett, who, this is a separate portion of the ballot where we have the unexpired term. So this would be just for a one-year term, and she's the only person from our organization that's running.
For that seat. Do I really need this? So y'all know me. I've been here since 2018. Currently the city secretary for the city of Windham. So know the ins and outs of actually how it should be going, as opposed to what we think we should do as far as the legal ramifications. So at this point in time, as we all know, we have a little bit of problems going on. So that's why I'm running for this. That way I can give my knowledge to help whoever becomes the mayor and to help our council and our city.
Thank you. We have three candidates running for the two other alderman positions on the ballot. One is Tina Cagle.
Hi, I'm Tina Cagle. We moved here at the end of 2022, and we're actually from rural Collin County, and we've seen small towns just like Ladonia become too big too fast and not be prepared for it. So I think we all want a community with togetherness and being able to work with each other. And that's the main thing. We want to be proud of our city, proud of our schools.
Thank you. Next, we have Russell Duckworth. Okay.
If you'd like. It's Duckworth, like waterfowl and value. There had been some confusion about my last name, so I'll let you know. Again, Duckworth. Feel free to quack, my friends all do. My wife and I, Carol, moved here with my stepdaughter, her daughter, Sophia, in 2019. Our first night here was Thanksgiving Eve. And then a couple of weeks later, we heard some music coming from the downtown square. We walked down and met some of the best friends we've ever had anywhere. This is an amazing community, amazing people, amazing history, and amazing potential. I think we'd all agree that it just takes a little bit of focused effort, because you know what happens when you don't pay attention to the details, when you don't take care of what you have, when you defer maintenance on things or just disregard or ignore things for a while, things get a little bit worse than they were the day before. So one of the things I want to commit to you, and this is what I commit to my family every day, is to get up and show up and work to make things better. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. And last but not least, Amy Robinson.
Hi, my husband and I moved here in 2018. I am also a Navy veteran. Just attending some of the council meetings, there's quite a bit that we can help fix, I guess you would say. Health and safety of our residents is first and foremost, which I know from Church Street, South Jackson, all our roads need help. And where I come in is to help find grant funding. That is one of the things that is my strong suit, so I'm hoping that I can bring that to the table. And I've also been brought to my attention that our volunteer fire department is not getting paid what they really need to get paid to help our community. And so as a group of part of RAIL, bringing in and doing fundraisers with the chamber to help bring money back into the community to help with our schools and to help with the fire department.
Thanks, Amy. All right, if you just give us a couple minutes here to set up, we'll start taking questions. Thank you. Oh, they already gave you the questions? Okay. So what, do you want to get everybody in the background over here? What do you have? Yeah, we can, however y'all want to do it. I don't really,
Stand up just like said don't come out from in front of this shrubbery. I don't know what their plans are. I guess I'm asking all these questions. Here, I'm not going to budget this. Again, how long was it? I'm not going to read off. I guess we'll start with what an secretary is for both city council members and especially the city employees. I guess I'll ask everyone. Yeah. That's not, we have an individual question. Fine, just professional. We're going to go ahead and start. The first question I have here is for City Council Member-elect Dana. As an ex-secretary, can you tell us where the city money went?
I mean, let's get a little more specific, I guess. But you can look at your audit, you can look at your budget, you can request receipts from any given time here from City Hall. So at this time, my answer is to request your audits, request your receipts.
The next question is for me, and it says, Justin, why do you think you'd make a good mayor?
You're already a good mayor.
I am currently, and I don't know if this qualifies me as a good mayor, but I am getting my organizational leadership degree under a business degree right now, and I would love to put all of the skills I learned from my classes to work on Ladonia. And I'm by no, as y'all can tell, I'm probably a little nervous up here. I know y'all can tell. I'm by no means a politician. I'm just somebody who wants to help the city get better. I believe this one goes to you as well. Would you really support the mayor even if someone you don't care for?
I would support the mayor even if I don't care for the person, but at the end of the day, my responsibility is to the citizens of this community, not to one particular person.
Tina, this one's for you. Tina, we too like our small town. We would like it to grow, but not to where it would hurt the others in the community and grow above our means. How do you think we'd be able to prevent that?
First, I think we need to focus on the good things about Ladonia, the things that bring us together and make us a happier community, rather than the negativity associated with groups or certain things that are soon to be coming to Ladonia.
What are some unacceptable behaviors of both city council members and especially city employees? That's just open for anyone.
I'll kick this one off. There's really not any reason for us to not be respectful of each other. It doesn't matter the situation, right? But there are also some rules that we are supposed to be operating under. There are things called parliamentary procedure, and you all know them. You've watched city council meetings from other communities. You've seen those things in action. the mayor is supposed to control the conversation during the council meeting. And if you've ever seen the way that it happens at a national level or even at a state level, it seems very controlled, but it's supposed to be. It's not, it is never supposed to be a free-for-all, right? So to return some basic controls to the council meeting and to the conversation doesn't mean that we don't allow people to speak or to contribute, but it means that we allow that in a specific way, and we allow the conversation to proceed in the same manner for every topic, okay? So first of all, respect. Second of all, let's get back to some Robert's Rules of Order and make sure that we're handling the meetings properly.
And this question is for everybody. Are you for or against city events that includes events that are sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, I myself am very for the chamber. The chamber that we have here in Ladonia, and I don't know if everyone here in this group is aware, they do a lot of fundraising for our local schools. They help out in the whole community. They're getting ready to help out along with the fire department. Without the chamber and the city working hand in hand, it's just a big disconnect. What our whole goal is here is to have all of our different committees working together. We've got other committees in work, if you've seen our list of things that we're working on, and hopefully all of those can work together and to make a better community for Ladonia.
This is another one that they request be answered by the whole council. Each person has individual strengths. Please name one of your strengths that would benefit your position most as a city councilman.
Actually being able to read the financials and understand exactly what the city has coming in and out, where we are in regards to, like for me, TCEQ and all those other state agencies that we have to deal with on the regular.
You probably find this hard to believe, but what they put on the sign is actually fairly true. It's accountability. Just paying attention to the details goes a long way. And I think what you'll find is what gets measured gets managed. That's not an original quote. But what we pay attention to and what we focus on actually tends to improve. And so accountability would be what I would bring to the council.
And for myself, again, it's transparency. I know going to a lot of these council meetings, a lot of things are behind closed doors, and there's good, bad, or ugly. Our entire community needs to know where we stand, so we can start from a good platform and move forward. And so that and procedure writing is what I bring to the table.
I actually have a background in accounts payable, billing, and contracts management.
I guess I should tell y'all mine too, huh? Really, I did 2 tours, and I came back home, and we made it through those fine, guys. We came home, and I saw the mess that Ladonia is in, and I cannot stress this enough, that I've never ran for politics before. I've never done anything like this. And I would like to say my biggest trait is I want to involve the community. I want all of y'all to have just as much say in what goes on in y'all's town as we have that goes in y'all's town. Because this isn't just my town. We're not looking at it here for us, for Russell 5 years from the road, or for Tina or Amy. I want y'all's grandkids. I want my grandkids. I want everyone here to have a future. I want to ensure our little town still has a big future. The next question, what steps would you take to address the multitude of past due water bills and trash and stuff like that? Or just outstanding bills? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So let's actually send out these reminder notices. Let's actually cut people's water off and force them to then come into City Hall to pay their water bill. We can't complain about not collecting funds if you're not actually doing the process that was set in place for years.
Will you fix all the violations so we don't have to keep paying fines? That was just the question.
Yeah.
Whole question was,
Must be the water system?
We can speculate all we want, but
Sewer plant.
there's not actually been any fines paid to anybody. If you pull it, it hasn't actually been fined though at this point. The city has not actually been fined for that, and they have not paid anything. And if you actually go to TCEQ's website, you can see the one outstanding issue, I believe, when I pulled it up, was the fact that last year, that copper testing that they just sent all the paperwork out on. Yearly fees that you have to pay to, let me reiterate that, or let me just expand on this. Yearly fees that you pay to TCEQ are not necessarily fines. Those are yearly fees that you have to pay to them regardless. Every city in the state of Texas has to pay them. So.
what is y'all's plan to maintain the marquee? And would you be willing to let citizens help with the waiver?
I actually talked to you on the phone this morning.
Oh, you want
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
So this is something that has become an issue that was just never an issue, right? We have volunteers that were responsible for making the changes to the sign, and then at some point it became a problem. And just until I think a month or so ago, we had never heard anybody talk about, well, it's an insurance liability. So what was the question about allowing citizens to do it with a waiver?
Yep.
You know, I would be hesitant to say no to anybody who wanted to show up and volunteer to serve our community. It just makes sense to me. This is the city of Ladonia, and it's not an inanimate object. It's full of people who are here and ready and willing to serve. So, yes, yeah. Let's see how many people we can get helping out around here.
Do you plan on going after delinquent accounts through the courts if need be?
We would hope that it wouldn't come to that, but if it did come to that, then there would, the city needs that funding. And if you're not gonna pay your bill, then unfortunately, the courts may get involved.
I believe this is either you wrote this or it's for you.
Oh, no, just because it's vertically on there doesn't mean I wrote it.
What are your plans to do different?
What are my plans to do different? Oh, where would I start? Again, there are some basic things that we do as families and as businesses, and one of those things is to stay on top of things, right? I think you would probably not be surprised to know that the accounts, the reports, the financial statements, the balance sheets that they've been approving for the past year have not been correct since when I left the council. There were numbers that were not correctly accounted for on those financial statements. The bank balance currently shows a negative balance. Well, I don't believe that's true because they're still paying bills, or at least they're still approving to pay bills. So if those bank statements are not being updated to the QuickBooks system that are generating those reports that they're using to produce the financial statements, that's a problem. We have to be on top of this information every day. This is not the city's money. This is not the mayor's money. This is money that you go out and earn, that you pay your property and your city taxes with, right? And then you entrust your elected officials to treat like you would treat it if you were responsible for paying bills for the city of Ladonia, right? So I would I would change it so that it is respectful of the fact that it's your money and not a piggy bank that's used to pay for Monster energy drinks and brownies and dog food at Fix and Feed.
The next one is a question specifically for me. What are my plans to work with all? And it scratched out council member on there, so I'm just going to answer both. I'm a pretty easy guy to get in touch with. We all have pretty good communication with each other, and they have sent out several rare emails that there's ways to get in touch with me if y'all would like to, and I will give y'all my email afterwards if y'all would like. Like I said before, and I don't want to reiterate myself too much, but it's a community that we all have to work together to do, and there's no way to do that without proper communication. There have been many concerns about our water department, specifically the water meter readings. How do you plan on addressing this? And actually, well, you got to run it like any other job. If somebody's not doing their job, they need to be put on probation, and you need to find out why the meters aren't being read. I know from personal experience that my reader's been covered in mud for 2 months now, and nobody reads it. There's just no way to. And I don't want to say they're not doing their job, but I will say that somebody needs to pay closer attention to what their employees of the city are doing and find out why we're having $200, $300, $400 over what we're supposed to for our water bills. How would you improve communication from the city to the citizens?
From the city to the citizens. Well, first and foremost, I don't know if any of you have looked at our website. It hasn't been updated in I can't tell you how long. It needs to be updated consistently, or we need to start or completely do away with that website and start a new one so that everything gets out to the citizens in a timely manner. If that can't happen immediately, then things need to be mailed out. I know a lot of times things are posted and saying, oh, we're having this meeting, but we posted it to the door. And it doesn't get out wide, and not everybody in our town knows about it. Everybody in our town deserves to know when anything's happening up here at the city, so that they can voice and they can tell us what's going on or what their concerns are for the community.
How are you planning to fix things, such as the debt? How are we going to acquire clean water and sewer? And how do y'all plan on fixing our roads?
Yep. Okay. Well, you got the city experience, so let's start with that.
So when they took out this loan that everybody's discussing, there was an entire plan put together by the Water Development Board that is in a notebook in that office. The plan hasn't been being worked since at least May of 23. Prior to that, we didn't seem to have any issues paying that loan. Like I said, there are steps. There's a rate study in there that tells you when to increase the water rates, how much to increase them to, and things of that like. So I think we just need to get back to doing what we should have been doing, what we had been doing.
You know, when you engage in something like that, like a bond election for a municipal water system, that's a big commitment, right? It's a big commitment for an individual or for a family. For a community, it becomes something that's a burden that's easily shared, right? We all understand that it's something that we need is clean water, a sewer system that works. The truth is things like that require maintenance. They degrade over time. It's called depreciation. It shows up on your balance sheet. So the fact that our water system on the books is worth several $1 million, right, should tell you something. It's a big system. It's a complicated system. there are simple answers to these things. We need to come together to talk about the maintenance that has not been done. Lately, we've had some issues with maintenance of that system. We had a natural gas line that was dug up. So my question would immediately be, did anybody call for a line locate to do some evaluation of what was in that area before they started digging? Because unfortunately, those kinds of incidents are not for our best interest and could potentially be dangerous, as you're aware. So none of these are complicated problems, right? When you have a problem paying a bill, or you have a problem with your mortgage for whatever reason, you've lost your job, unexpected medical expense, being communicative with your mortgage company is a big deal, right? Reaching out to them and saying, listen, I'm having trouble. Could I defer a payment? That's the kind of thing that we need to be doing with the water board, is making sure that they know where we have issues. If we're having a challenge, making those payments. But to Dana's point, until recently, it hasn't been an issue. And again, I would caution you that somebody who will come in and save you from the fire, who is actually the one that set the fire, is something that you need to pay careful attention to and watch out for, not just in local elections, but state and federal elections.
As council members, do y'all have a plan to deal with some of the more run-down houses in Ladonia, the ones that might need to be condemned, stuff like that? I can answer it. We're working to figure that out right now. I don't want to give y'all a solid plan because I don't want to lie to you. I want to tell you that we are also not happy with how Ladonia is presented to other people. We do not like that there's trash in all the yards. We don't like that the houses are run down, and we understand that people need help fixing that. We're people too. We're just up here trying to help. And I don't have a solid plan to tell y'all. I wish I did, but it's just something we're gonna have to figure out and work together for.
So we have basic policies and procedures about how you handle things like water, right? If you don't pay your water bill, you get a notice from the city that basically says you're past due on your water bill. You got to come pay your water bill, or we're going to cut your water off, right? To not follow that procedure allows a house or an individual to continue to get behind on their water bill, so that what was a $100 water bill problem becomes a several $100 water bill problem. And I know Dana can talk about the mechanics of that if you like, but when it comes to property, that's a sensitive thing, right? Because as property owners, we all want to make sure that we're being involved in the processes that affect our personal property. And I'm sure that every member of the community would say, you know what, if you're going to condemn a piece of property, a house that I own on a piece of property, even if I don't live on it, I need to be involved in that. And that's absolutely the way it should happen, right? There are processes, procedures, and rules that need to be followed for that process. It's a respectful process, and I think in the end it'll make our community better as long as it's handled properly. And again, open transparency in government is a huge thing. We don't want to just go bulldozing a house without making sure that we've checked all the boxes so that everybody knows we have done it right.
The next question says, can we find a new police officer since the one we have seems to not be able to get their credit, seems to not be able to acquire their credentials?
We would all love to do that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
You know, so let me
Yeah,
jump in
you
here
go.
real quick. I apologize. I'm really not trying to. Anybody else wants to jump in here? I have talked to Chief Lowen after council meetings, and I asked him. I said, "So are you at least getting paid on time?" And at the time that I asked him that question, he said, "No, I haven't been paid yet," which was a surprise to me, because what we were told about the previous police department and the previous police chief was that they were released because they were volunteer police force. So I'm not sure where the line is between being a volunteer and being a paid police force, but I think getting paid is a part of it. Again, I think just reasonable things that you would do as a family. Um, when something is untenable, right, you need to make a change, somebody has to go. But if there's something going on that you say, well, wait, we've just discovered that we're not allowed to have a volunteer police department, what would the natural, easy solution for that be? Pay the one that you have, right? I mean, that's the simplest solution. But that's not what happened, but that's also not the reason that the police department and the previous chief, Chief Day, was let go. That was personal. So can we get another police department, police chief in here? Man, I would sure hope so. We need to be really careful about how the communities around us and police communities see our community. We don't want to make it difficult to get a good police officer, a good police chief in here. Okay, thank you.
And the last question I have on these little note cards here today is about our lawyer. Are we happy with the one we have currently, or would we like to get a new one?
I do not know the lawyer. I have observed the lawyer that we have a few times in the council meetings, and just from what I've seen, yes, we do need to get a new lawyer. We are paying the gentleman entirely a lot of money that the entire city needs to be aware of. But I personally, and that is again personally, for our community, I think that we should look at a new lawyer for the city.
I just want to say a little something to tack on to that. I'm in no means trying to get anybody fired or take anybody's job, but it seems like the city employees work for the city, but they should also be working for us. And it just doesn't seem like our current staff does that very well. And I think the best choice of option is to go in and evaluate every single city employee we have to determine if they're a benefit to the city or not. I believe that's all the questions. I'm going to reintroduce Mr. Duffy here for y'all.
Thanks. Well,
Give him credit for being able to read that cursive writing.
I think we.
Help, I couldn't see it.
I think we should give all these people a round of applause. I think they did a really good job tonight. And also the people who asked the questions. I thought they were very, very good. At this time, is there anybody that's out there that would like to come on up to the mic and ask a question? All right. Well, then we'll wrap this up, except I'd just like to make one comment in that our group, our PAC, has come together with a large, diverse. Oh, okay. Well, please come up here.
I don't need, work with the school system, so I don't know. I have a question. It may be ugly, maybe not, but as a citizen of Ladonia and been here for over 60 years, I have the right to answer this question. If we had the money in there, why didn't we use it while we had it there, if you knew what you was doing?
Elaborate, yeah.
Okay,
We had the
again.
money there.
You had the money there. Why wasn't all this here stuff done if you had the money there? You was the secretary.
Money
You know
for
what thing with
what?
that, you had it there.
Money for what?
To fix the streets?
That money couldn't be used. The council is the one who decided what they were using that money for.
Right. But
So,
also, okay.
That's, you need to
Let me
take
ask
that.
my question. Let me ask my question. Because you was there and I came and so I couldn't come anymore. But as you was there and everything, and you knew that, I knew that we got the grant money, because I was there one night when it was said the people in Ladonia need houses fixed, these houses torn down. And this is what the mayor said, and I'm standing here before everybody and said, she said, well, that's text home that somebody is gonna fix them. Why couldn't that money been used to fix the streets and fix our problems in here? Get good police officers in here. See, I've been here longer than all y'all. I know what's been going on. I've seen many mayors, many secretaries come and go. Many of them. I've been to, like I said, I've been to the city council, and I appreciate you a couple of times, but I kept saying I had paid money to get something fixed, and then it finally didn't get done. I paid the man $400 to fix something. I said, you know what? I'm gonna get my money if I have to go all the way to the White House. So you're not talking to no dummy. But I knew all this was here. When you had the money, when you got that grant money, some of that should have been put in the city of Ladonia. What I didn't want to be on the city council because at that time I couldn't, because I didn't even want to come because my daughter was on the city council.
Okay. Your daughter was on the city council back in 2017, 16?
You know my daughter?
Yes.
You know my daughter?
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So I know where the money went.
I'm confused. I guess I'm confused. Because I started in December of 2020?
No.
Not back up.
Yeah. So, I would love for you to expand on when you're talking, because Dana was on, your daughter Dana Cuba was on the council. Tanel, yes ma'am, was on the council from what, 2015 to 18, or no, 2016 to 18? Okay.
She was on it twice.
Okay.
In fact, she quit.
She did not run, correct? Again.
No, she quit.
Okay.
She quit. She didn't want to run. She quit.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, I was there. The mayor, the ex-mayor said, when they was asking about helping these people get their house fixed. You know, all I'm saying.
Are you referring to the grant that you got your house fixed?
I'm talking about you had the money there to do anything in Ladonia. Why just go away? Answer the question.
What did what go away? Where did what go? You had a grant. You got a grant. Mr. Singleton got a grant. No, you said to fix houses. Did you not?
The mayor asked, somebody asked why we can't get money to fix these houses. And then the mayor said, but the tax home of the people in Paris was going to do that. If we had the money then.
That's the home grant that you participated in. Yes, ma'am.
I'm not talking about that either, but I'm talking about you can fix
That's the
else.
people in
Paris.
Paris.
Fix that there. No, you can't answer.
Okay, so there was a
I can't answer your question.
there was a grant.
Literally, it's still an active grant.
There was a grant that was used to pave and repair Mill Street. I don't know if you guys remember that, right? So that grant was acquired under Mayor Jan Cooper. That work was done shortly after Mayor Herod was elected. So there may be some confusion about that work. That work was done under a previous administration. I would encourage you. Okay, so the home grant was also acquired under Mayor Cooper, according to Dana. I would encourage you to get familiar with the public information request process. It's a single page. It's really easy to request information from the city. It's not always easy to get what you request. That's something that needs to change also. If you look at the past 3 years, financial statements, end of fiscal year financial statements, which ends at the end of September, and the audits that are associated with those, there is nothing in there that is glaring. It doesn't accuse anybody of anything improper. But what it does point out is the consistent misuse of money that's been budgeted for one purpose and used for another. Okay? There's a process for taking money that's been allocated for a budget, for a specific budget category, and moving it to another one. The city council makes a motion, somebody seconds it, they move that money, right? That has not been happening. It's mentioned in those financial statements that doesn't happen properly, and that's something that should happen properly, because you guys, the citizens of Ladonia, we have a chance to come look at the budget before it's passed and give input on that. So if we think it's important to spend more than $5,000 a year on street maintenance, Ms. Kuba, then that's something that we have to put in the budget. Okay, so if that's something that you guys think is important, that we put more money into street repairs, we need to plan for it. We need to collect money from somewhere to do that work. Okay, agreed? So if that's something that you feel is important, then let's talk about it. And let's get very verbal about the fact that these things don't happen for free. They either come from grant money or they come from us. They come straight out of my pocket and your pocket to do what needs to be done, the work that needs to be done here.
Russell, she wants to know about the water, she said. Water.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about water. Let's talk about water. Who wants to talk about water? We can talk about water just like we talk about anything else.
2016, 2017, the city took out a $2.8 million loan.
And about, what was it, 2016, 2017, that's where this Texas Water Development Board loan of $2.8 million came from. That work was done, was completed sometime, what, mid 2018? Does that sound right? Yeah. So those were water line upgrades. Again, some expansion on what specifically for our water. At this point in time, according to all of the TCEQ reports, it's well within legal limits, so I'm not sure what exactly she's wanting answers for, but I can tell you that there have been improvements. They're not cheap though, as y'all know. Like I said, this $2.8 million loan, that's what they've been paying back since at least 2018. And we keep hearing how we don't have money, but we obviously do, or at least we did.
Getting this stuff out and on the table and having transparency in our government, I think everybody would agree, is one of the most important things that we can do, right? So when you have people show up from the water board to talk about helping us work through a problem, how many of you knew before that happened last week that we had a problem with the Texas Municipal or Texas Water Development Board? Yeah. So that's a surprise that the citizens of Ladonia should be extremely concerned about, and it shows how untransparent the process is.
Are there any more questions out there? I'd just like to make one point before we wrap things up here, and it has to do with our organization. It's important to remember that a lot of us have come here from a variety of places for a small town atmosphere, because we like that. But when you get into talking about what is a small town, that's where the definition can be kind of fuzzier depending on who looks at it. For the Census Bureau, it can be a small town is under 25,000 people. And I bet you that in our group, we'd be hard pressed to find anybody who wants a town that big. But by other definitions, what we have here is a city that's under 1,000 people that would be classified as a tiny village. I think it would be very nice if we had enough people to where we could support a very nice quality school system, to where a lot of the students don't feel that they need to go to the schools in the surrounding communities, especially once they get into the higher grades. It would be nice if we had a town that's large enough to where we had enough people to man our volunteer fire department. And I think that those represent the things that our PAC represents. And we hope that you would take that into consideration and vote for our candidates on election day. Thank you all very much for coming tonight.